a certain amount of time to, I guess, to get it all done. I think specifically 60 days, and that's just how the way they do it, I suppose. And I guess after that, then.
They don't give you a year?
No.
They used to.
I think, I guess too many people flake.
Yeah, things have changed, especially nowadays.
No, I think that's something different, but I think we're talking about strictly nonprofit.
Hey,
Yeah, so
who? Good morning. Welcome to church. I am Jesse Peterson. Can we get everybody in? Who making the noise? Who? Tell them to be quiet. Welcome to church. I'm Jesse Peterson. You can get involved by going to our chat line, and I can respond to your questions and comments. Good morning, y'all. How's everyone? Oh, good. Any questions or comments or anything? Okay.
You have the word and I have the word. Romans 13:1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. How are we supposed to get along with all the mess that's going on if these people are children of the lie?
How are you supposed to get along with them?
Or how are we supposed to follow the laws that they're making if they're just nonsense?
That they're making now?
Yeah.
If the laws are unjust, you're not supposed to follow them.
But, Romans right there, it says, the word, let every soul be subject unto the higher powers. For there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God.
But the power in the government is not from God.
The power of the government. But they're supposed to implement the laws of God.
Right, but y'all voted in the wrong people.
Exactly.
So you're getting what you deserve.
Yeah. So we're just supposed to suffer for the next 4 years?
Suffer and die.
All of us?
Everyone that.
All right. That's it.
Good question though, man. Anybody else? I was thinking today, this morning, I saw a person I had not seen in about 3 to 4 weeks. So I saw them the other day, and I saw them 3 to 4 weeks. They had like an amazing body, looking good, healthy, full head of hair. And then I saw them 3 to 4 weeks later. I didn't recognize them. They got fat, bald, face structure change. And I was like, wow. So I don't like this getting old thing. Is there a way to get old without being awful looking? Die? What do you mean? No wonder Jesus died early. Didn't Jesus die like 30 something? Oh, blame him now. It's awful. Everybody that get, including myself, you just don't look the same. Is it just me or what? I was stunned to see this person.
Are they here?
No. I saw him on the road. And I was like, wow. And I think this person must be in their late 30s or early 40s. So they're not really old. Did you have your hand? Does anyone else think about this or just me? And then when you get old, you start, this fat thing got to end. Everybody get old don't have to get fat. You know what I'm saying? Because once you get it on, it's hard to take off. It's like hard to take off. So what I'm going to do is make another baby out of wedlock. And then I'm gonna teach this baby right off the bat. Don't be angry. You're made to live forever. Eat the right kind of food. Speak up for yourself and work. And see if that experiment works. Yes.
You know, you have a, what you're saying is so true, you know. You have control over it.
Everybody's hair falls out.
You get,
Well, really, I was thinking about Frank and his hair fell out too.
I earned this.
Whenever you see a man with a bald head, it's
I
because
paid
his
for
hair
every
fell
bit
out.
of this. I paid for every bit of this.
All right, go ahead.
So, I mean, you have a choice in it. I mean,
You don't want to speak into the mic?
some people age well, some people
Like
don't.
who?
Black people, Asian people age well.
Who? Trump is fat. Isn't he fat? So everybody else?
He still eats like a teenager. He eats hot dogs and Big Macs.
That's why he's so fat.
But he's happy and I'm happy. You know, that's the biggest thing.
Is it just me or what? Anybody else pay attention to these kind of things? Maybe because of my age, maybe that's why I'm paying attention. But I don't think it's supposed to be happening. I'm pretty sure it's not. I may be wrong. It wasn't always like that, huh? Yeah, everybody fat. I think when Jesus was alive, I think the only thing he ate was fish and loaves bread or something like that, and drank wine. That's what I'm gonna go back to. No, anyway, I was stunned to see this person. And it happened to a lot of folks. I remember when I first started out 30 years ago, most people that I met along the way were young, and the men and women, young and well-looking and all that. Now they old, fat, bald. They dead. They died out already. I'm like, what the? Anyway, that's just my thinking. So I want to go right to the unless anyone have questions or something. I want to go to the biblical question for this week. Oh, you have a question?
Always say the reason why I believe is because the GMOs, the foods are toxic now. Practically every food right now has some kind of injection, and it's cancerous. And that's one. Second, people don't want to walk anymore. People drive. Back in the 60s and the 70s and the 50s, people walked. Now everybody wants to drive. They won't even walk 10 feet to a parking. They'll fight for a parking space just to
That is so true.
just to save 3 feet.
Yeah.
And they'll wait in their car for an hour
That is
to
so
save
true.
3 feet. They wouldn't want to walk anymore. So people right now are lazy. They don't want to walk anymore. If you go to a vintage store and try to put on any outfit back in the 70s and 60s, you can't fit it. People were skinny.
Yeah.
Everybody was skinny. If you watch any footage of the 70s and 60s, people were skinny. Fat people was like very rare. When you see a fat person, people stop and pointed and they'll go, do you see that? Do you see that? And everybody will stare at a fat person back in the 50s because it was a very rare sight to see a fat person.
That is so true, man.
It's true because the people,
You're making me remember.
but it's true. People were not fat in the 50s and the 40s. It was very rare.
Yeah.
And when you were fat, they were really rich and they wanted to brag of how much food they can buy, or they were or with very a mental illness. Why are you eating so much food? Is something
Right.
wrong with you? Because people didn't eat that much food. And the hamburgers
That
were the
is so
size of a
true.
quarter.
Was
Don't
what?
but the hamburgers were this small.
Yeah.
Were barely less than your hand.
And now they take up the whole plate.
Yeah, so back then, sodas, everything was very minute. So why people are fat and unhealthy? Because the corporation of people, they keep overfeeding them, like animals. I don't know what it is. I think the hospitals are doing it on purpose. I mean, the doctors, they're doing it on purpose to make people more sick because the death industry is a big billion-dollar industry. People getting sick, people getting cancer it's a big money industry, and that's
Yeah.
why they do it on purpose. They want to make society sick so they can make billions of dollars on the sick and the dead.
Good
That's the
point,
truth.
man. Yeah. I think Chris, where's Chris? Ask Chris to come in because he was telling me something like that this morning. Chris, what were you telling me the reason people are fat, old, and ugly?
Why are they fat, old,
You
and
said
ugly?
in the land, in the food, and everything.
Oh, we were talking about ways that you might avoid getting old and dying.
And fat and bald.
Yeah, and all those things. We were saying, oh, eat better and do this or that, and I'm not sure that might be the first place that you look, but
Yeah.
you know, kind of the way people are treating the planet these days, like the ocean's not in a good place right now. You got people dumping stuff in it. The land's being contaminated with all these pesticides and things like that. So I don't know if that's the best way. Like, oh, just change your diet. You'll live forever.
But also, most boldness happens because of a divorce. It's true. And it's a fact.
Most
Divorces
baldness
cause.
happen because of
If
divorce.
you ask go watch anybody who's divorced, they're usually bold. And it happens. It's stress. You know what I mean? So it's not a joke. It's
Well,
actually
there's
a fact.
definitely stress.
So, but if going through divorce, losing all your possessions and the kids can have you lose. Even women too. Women lose their hair. Women
I know.
lose their hair. So,
I have
don't
never
get
seen
divorced. Get a happy marriage. Stay focused, and and that's how you go bold. Literally, stress will have your hair fall out.
Yeah. I have never seen so many bald-headed women all my life. When I was growing up, I saw no bald-headed women. None. Zero. Zilch. My grandmother and grandfather died in the 90s, I think, right? They had all their hair. They were skinny because they stayed in Alabama on the plantation. And they were skinny, looked good. They just died of old age. And no, none of that stuff. You're absolutely right. I wish I had stayed on the plantation and ate food from the earth. Yes, sir. And then Victoria.
Also, I think the lockdowns definitely contributed to, because I feel like
No, this was happening before the
oh,
lockdown.
it was happening before, but I feel like since the lockdown, I've seen people put on a lot of pounds because
Yeah.
they're staying at home and they're watching Netflix all day and they're not exercising and all that. So I think it didn't start with the lockdowns. It definitely was
This has been going on for
incremental.
years now.
Yeah, but the lockdown was definitely a justification to like really make all that worse.
Yeah.
I think.
Amazing. Yes, Victoria. And then the women, you could tell they bald because they have on wigs. Yeah. Yes. Anytime I see a woman in a wig, I know she's bald. I'm like, that's a bald one. You know why the women shouldn't wear the mask? Because let's say they have a great body, right? And you talk to them and then they take that mask off and the face is different. Like, what? No. I'm playing. Go ahead. Yes.
Okay. I feel attacked on every angle here. Okay. But I wanted to ask you, because I will say that with your observation, I didn't catch the first part of it, but I'm assuming you're wondering why people are looking fat and old and before
fat,
their time
old,
and stuff.
Bald and
Yeah, and
just
I've
messed up.
yeah, and I've noticed that too because I wanted to ask you because I know for me
Even the young people getting fat. You notice that? You don't see like healthy young folks. There
so
was one fat girl at my high school, and she was trying to like me. I was like, I never will forget her. And then she went for someone else, because she was the only fat girl at school, on the whole campus. That's how rare it was to lose weight, to be fat. That girl mother spoiled her though because her mother was a teacher, one of the teachers at the school. And her mother spoiled her. And she ended up killing her mother later. She shot her, I think. She shot her after she sat on her.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yes, I'm sorry.
I was going to ask, do you think that there's a correlation between being overweight and anger?
Of course. When
Yeah.
you're angry, you eat all the wrong things.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, I recognize that it didn't, like, it's something that all girls that are overweight, I don't know how the men feel, but every woman that's overweight knows that there's inherently something wrong with it. They just deny it because it's easy, and then society tells them you actually need to be bigger. You know what I mean? Because guys like, shapes and all that kind of stuff. And I put something on my Instagram the other day, and it was a guy that was talking about how he loved really big girls, and he said he wants stretch marks, he wants a floppy stomach, like he said all this stuff. And I thought, this guy's lying. Like,
Yes.
no, because I knew he was lying, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and if he does like that, there's a perversion to it because he was licking his lips and just being weird about it. And a few, no, really, and then a few people went
You were
into
watching
my,
this?
yeah, no, because I posted it, no, I posted it to point out
What are you
how,
watching?
like, I will tell you, you can ask people here that follow me there. It's like, I will post some silly stuff sometimes, but there's always a reason behind it. And I was just trying to point out the fact that if a guy really wants you big and heavy, or he tells you, you really don't need to, like, get healthy, there's something, I know it's a strong word, but there's something demonic about that because he wants you to poison your body.
Right.
He wants you to
Yeah,
be.
that's not good.
Yeah, so I just wanted to, I guess, say for myself, there are some women that recognize what they are and they're realistic about it. But even when they do that, their friends and their family will tell them that they're crazy and say, well, no, you don't need to lose weight. You're fine the way you are. So it is very confusing for women sometimes because of that. So I was just, like I said, I know for myself, there was a correlation for me, and probably still is, between anger and weight.
Yeah.
Because I notice I'm starting to, well, this isn't a women's meeting, never mind. But it's like,
Yeah. This is the wrong meeting for that.
right, but I can recognize it in myself that when I get stressed out or when I'm behind in certain things, the weight does come on because instead
Yeah.
of facing it, I would rather just sit and eat something and make it easier. But then it comes back. So it's a vicious cycle. So I just wanted to say it so everybody could hear it. Women know that it's not okay. Even the ones that push it, even Lizzo, they all know something's wrong with it. No, even Lizzo knows because she's losing weight now. So everybody knows.
Who
The girl that
oh,
had her
yeah,
booty out and
oh,
stuff.
She's nasty.
So yeah, so I just wanted to put it on the record. And the guys that say they like that,
Well, we got to get
they're
a
lying.
healthy society back. We really got to start getting it back. It can come back. Another thing I noticed, and then maybe you could help me with this, right here. Come to him. Somebody sent me a video of, looked like it was at an event, and this man and woman were arguing, and all of a sudden the woman just smacked the man. And then the man just smacked her right back. It looked like a Japanese man, one of those. And then the other men jumped on the man for slapping the woman back. Is there a rule in the earth that you can't defend yourself if women hit you?
There isn't, but it's just one of those things where, as a man, you've been shown not to ever hit a woman.
What man told you that?
That's just something that.
My
as you
father
were
told me to
raised.
knock them out if they hit you.
Right, but at the same time, you can't allow.
Even my grandmother used to tell my cousins, female cousins, you know how that girls like to hit on boys at home? And we would hit them back, and they would go crying, and they were like, "Punch, you hit me." She would say, "You ought not have hit him. What do you think ought to happen, right?" So who's telling a man not to hit back?
I think it's society and just the way you're raised, because that's one thing that my mom would always tell me: you never hit a woman.
She did?
Yeah.
Well, what are you supposed to do when she hits you?
You can restrain her.
No, that ain't good enough. There's something called self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
He'll hurt me.
Oh, that's your husband?
Yes.
Oh, that's your husband. Good. Have your wife ever hit you?
No.
She never hit you, right? She know better?
Right. He'll hurt me.
Do you know if you hit him, he gonna take you down?
He'll hurt me. Yeah.
Oh,
He's
good.
strong. I know.
And so does that hold you back from hitting him?
No, No, it's like,
Do you sometimes want to smack him?
right, right. If I hit him, I just smack him. It's not like to like punch him out or anything. No, I can't go that way with him. He'll beat me up.
That's good.
Yeah.
You're doing the right thing. It ain't gonna take much because he's real big.
Oh,
and
I've
you're
seen
little.
him fight, and I don't want to get in the middle of it.
So what do you think about men who allow women to hit them and they don't hit back?
I think it's sad. I have boys, and even when they were in school, they had girls hitting them, and they thought they weren't supposed to defend themselves. And I told my boys, if they hit you, you hit them right back.
That's right.
And they stopped. The girls stopped hitting them once they defended
When
themselves.
a girl find out that you're gonna smack her
Right.
back, she ain't gonna hit you.
Right.
She ain't gonna do it. But if she think that you're just gonna stand there and take it, you going down.
Right.
That's so crazy. It just doesn't logically make sense to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally. So, yeah.
Because it just brings out the worst in the women if they know that. I'm not gonna ask a show of hands that been hit by women. See that? Look up in it. And you did nothing about it, right? Well, I'm glad you told your boys to smack them back.
Sure.
Yeah, that's good. So your wife never hit you, you're lucky. Oh,
Right.
she's lucky.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
Is this your first time here?
It is.
Oh, what's your name?
It's Maricela.
Welcome.
Oh,
How
thank
did
you.
you find out about us?
I've been watching you for like about 3 years.
Really?
We live in Bakersfield, and I finally got him to come down.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And so you introduced me to him. You
Right.
started watching first. So when she told you, look at this black guy, what was your first thought?
I don't know, it's kind of different at first because your views are different than what you would expect it.
Right.
And
What would you have expected?
I don't know, I always, because the way you're actually saying what's wrong with society, and you're not afraid to say even for the blacks and stuff like that, you're actually saying, no, we're doing wrong, or the minorities. You're actually putting it out there that do the right thing, no matter what race you are.
That's right.
Just do the right thing. And
Amazing.
especially right now with all this politics, I mean, you pretty much straight put it out there, how corrupted the swamp is.
Right on. Are you a beta or alpha?
I'm an alpha.
Ooh. Let me ask you why. See? I mean, no. Is he a beta or alpha?
I know your definition of an alpha.
Uh-huh.
I think the only thing that hurts him is he has a little bit of anger,
Who?
my husband.
Beta.
But I mean, he's like, everything else, he's 100% responsible. There's no issues with
Right
my
on.
husband. Yeah.
And so you have anger?
No.
He's getting better. He says no. And I say,
He says no, and she says yes. What the? So you don't have anger?
Well, I think I do.
Oh, you do have it?
Yeah, just
Oh.
sometimes I let things irritate me when they shouldn't.
Yeah.
And she's the one that's been trying to talk me like, don't be angry, don't make decisions and emotions. And
Right on.
I was just the way I
And so
was
how do
raised.
you feel when your wife is telling the husband, don't be angry?
It makes me feel that small,
Beta, huh?
right?
Yeah. And so did she tell you how to go and forgive,
Yeah,
to overcome that?
yes.
And what did she tell you?
To go to the individual and tell them that you forgive them for them not knowing any better.
Yeah. Did you go to your mother?
Yes,
Oh, you went to your mother?
yep.
And what did you say?
She just said she did what she knew how to do best.
And you forgave it all?
Yeah,
Oh, good.
I got no problem with it.
Right on. How about your father?
I haven't seen him yet.
Oh.
He,
Are you able to find him?
I know he's somewhere in some state, but haven't had the opportunity yet.
Do you resent him?
I'm not happy with what he did.
To you?
Yeah, because I was abandoned at about 2 years old. So
So what now?
I was about 2 years old when he left us.
Oh, so he didn't do anything to you?
No, he just abandoned my mom
So what?
and me. He abandoned me, my brothers, and my mom.
Your mother ran him off?
Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah. Did she tell you he left, he abandoned you, or he couldn't handle her? What did she tell you?
He abandoned all of us because
Did
there's
she
two
tell you
there's
why
two more
he
brothers.
left?
He was irresponsible individual,
That what she told you?
and that's what I seen.
That she lying. Don't believe your mama.
Yeah.
Don't believe it. Wait until you talk to your father. Always hear both sides. And there's always two sides to every story. I could get a couple in my office, right? counseling with them, and one would say one thing and one would say another one, and it's hard to get the truth. And so wait until you talk to your father. Fathers love their children, and they just can't handle the mothers.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Sure.
You want to believe your mother?
No, I don't want to believe her. I'm just going off of what I seen. Because there was a time that he came back to the picture a few years ago, say 10 years ago.
Right.
But all he did was just took money from her, lying to her, saying that he was coming back to her, and never came back.
Right. Well, talk to him. Ask him what happened. Don't assume anything. Always wait and see. Really.
Yeah.
All right? Let me know what happens.
Okay.
You went and forgave your mother?
Oh, yes.
And how did that go?
I think it went worse than what I thought.
What happened?
I thought she was going to be calmer, but she was getting really hysterical.
Oh, she was?
Yes.
Like, in what way?
Like screaming and saying, "What do you want me to do? Do you want me to commit suicide?" And I said,
Did you
"No."
say yes?
No.
Why did she say, you want me to commit suicide? Whatever.
Well, sure, but at that time I didn't see it that way. But I
Oh.
was like, no, but I'm just letting you know that I don't take it personal anymore.
Right
I
on.
forgive you.
And how about your
My father has passed away.
okay.
My father was beta.
You beta?
He was beta. He was the nicest man, but he was beta.
Beta men are nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're beta.
That's right. No, it's true.
Any question for me?
No, I mean,
How about for you? Any question? Or disagreement or anything?
No, not right now. Just like I said, I'm still trying to observe all your ideas and where you come with it, and then especially this, there's certain things like my wife would say, listen to Jesse. He has a lot of things, and especially right now when Trump was in office, I love the way you supported him, and it kind of opened my eyes more.
Okay.
And to show that it was just us that were seeing things. And I guess I'm listening more to the way my wife says about having sex out of wedlock, not a good idea, and how you're pushing that, and it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
And,
Amazing.
And how
Good, man.
she's been pushing the idea about how men are controlled by the sex.
You agree?
Well, yeah,
Yeah, I thought so.
yes.
I'm glad that you are being a good example, without giving him a hard time. Because when a woman is a good example, let's say the man is weak, but if she doesn't get angry at him, be hateful, he'll have to look at himself. And when he looks at himself, that's what's going to make the change.
it's hard sometimes, but you're
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it is hard because the last thing a woman needs is for the man to be weak. You know what I'm saying? It would be like men going to Christ,
Right.
looking to him, and he's all weak.
Right. Right.
Nobody want a weak Christ.
Right.
You can't be a weak Christ, man. Your wife needs you to be strong.
Yes, and I know I kind of regret that I haven't been more attentive to what she's telling me regarding listening to you.
Right.
Because it took a while. I mean, there'll be times that I'll just let her in the living room watching your show, and I'll be doing something else. So I'll go sit down, and next thing you know, I'll fall asleep.
What the?
Yeah, but no, I
I'm
started
glad
paying.
you're coming around.
Yeah, I started paying more attention the last maybe 6-7 months.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, well, he does a point. Sure, there's a couple things I don't totally agree with, but
Is there one thing you don't totally agree with? Just be honest, this is not Black Lives Matter. I'm okay with it.
you okay with it? No, because
One thing.
something about her saying that sex isn't a big part of a marriage.
Right.
Right. So I'm still trying to see that
The
part.
only purpose for sex is to make babies.
Uh-huh.
And then if you gotta have it, gotta have it, then you should get married so you don't burn, suffer, right?
Right.
But the purpose of sex is marriage. Watch, when you make all your babies, you're not gonna do it anymore. You're like, yeah, right.
Yeah, right. That's the only part. It's like, okay, where does he come with that?
Why
But-
do you need it so badly?
No, I mean, it's not you need it, but it's good. It's nice. It's awesome. It's great.
Well, we'll save it for the men's meeting.
Okay.
You said enough.
You said that.
But if you were not feeling bad, it wouldn't be good. You're just running from something. It's like a drug.
That's what she tells me, that it's a drug that's, men are addicted to it.
Yeah.
But then some women too, right?
Well, the women are drug dealers, sex dealers.
Right, that's what she tells me all the time.
They could really do without it. But they see that you're hungry for it. If they want that control over
Right.
you, they'll serve you.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, because before I even listened to you, I had already spoken to him about the sex thing. I said, you know, it's
Speak into
not,
the microphone.
I had told him, if tomorrow I never have sex with you again, I still love you. You're still my
Right.
husband. I respect you. I don't have urges to go with somebody else. And he couldn't understand that. He thought that I was kind of crazy.
You were thinking if you stop and don't go with someone else, I am.
Right.
I'm going to find someone else.
Well, I don't think he, well, I don't, you know.
No, he won't.
But
won't.
I don't know if he thinks that way, but he
Don't
was
worry
thinking.
about that. He won't
No,
keep-
I know. We've been married almost 30 years.
Right on.
So,
Nice.
yes. So, you know, that's not in my mind. But what I'm saying is he probably saw it like, maybe you don't want it, but I want it.
Right.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's,
But I'm coming around.
Yeah, you will. Now
Eventually.
that you know. Whatever.
Right.
Now, I want to ask this question. Oh, the biblical question.
oh, thank you.
How do we love God? Isn't that a good question? How do we love God? This young lady want to answer for me in the jean jacket. Yes. I see it all over you. Do you love God?
I think so.
And how do you love God?
How do I personally love God?
Yes.
Usually by serving others.
By doing what?
Serving others.
Okay.
Like meeting someone else's needs.
And
Are you
that-
looking for a specific answer?
No.
Okay.
Just it's a biblical question.
Mhm.
Is this your first time?
Yes.
Oh, good. Are you wondering? I've never seen a church when they start out talking about fat people.
No, I haven't.
Fat, bald people, huh?
Right.
Any question? How did you find us? What's your name?
I'm Jessica. I'm here with Levi and Nathaniel.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Wow. And so, any question for me?
No.
Have you wondered why, as we get old, we get bald, fat, and ugly?
I mean, I kind of agree with what you were saying about
You do
why-
agree with it?
Yeah, I do.
What happens?
Well, I think bad habits happen. I think stress of life happens.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe like, yeah, I just think stress of life. I think that's probably the biggest
Oh, okay.
thing.
Well, I'm glad you're here. You with a nice family.
Thank you.
Yeah, amazing family. Good. Any question?
Nope.
Oh, okay. You want to answer that? Do you love God?
I do.
And how do you love Him? Any day now. We are on TV. Time is passing by.
By embodying love and doing everything in love, just like walking in love. Like I love you.
And so that's how you love Christ?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, the young lady behind you want to answer that. You love God?
I know. Uh-oh.
It's not a guessing game. This is a fellowship.
Yeah.
We're here to edify one another, all right? Not to be taught.
I mean, and yeah, I do love God, but then I look at kind of my last week and I'm like, I don't really love God because I haven't been acting and I've been doing the silent prayer, but even as soon as I'm done and even as I'm doing the silent prayer, I'm not putting God first. I'm putting like the worldly things first. I'm thinking of the world. I'm being emotional. So it's like, that's not loving God. So I think the way to love God is you put God first and you just, and nothing should be more important than God.
And how do you put Him first?
I think by
And these kind of things are the things that you need to be thinking about. Not what you're gonna wear, what you're gonna eat, where you're gonna sleep, who your friends are, and all that. You're supposed to really be thinking about these things.
By recognizing that you are putting something above God. So like, when I realize that I'm being, that I'm being sensitive about something, or I'm being emotional about something, it's like, oh, look at what you're doing. You're being emotional about something. You're putting that before God, because that shouldn't be more important than God. God is being present and being at peace and not thinking of anything, like having no thought. So.
Okay. The young man want to answer right next to you. You love God?
I do.
And did you know that this was the biblical question this week?
Yes.
So what do you what do you think? How do you love God?
I think by obeying His commandments and showing love to His other creations, and like you say, don't judge and don't play God.
And do you obey His commandments?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And so you keep the commandments.
Yes.
That's good, man. That's amazing. Yes. And then the young man behind you, I saw his hand. You love God?
Yes, I do.
And how do you love God?
I think it's also what she says
No,
about
that's not the answer.
about putting
That's
God.
the easy way out.
Okay, about putting God
When
first.
somebody said, well, this is what she said,
No. I
they're
was
looking
already
for an easy
thinking
way
that.
out.
No, I was already thinking the same. That's
Oh,
what I'm
okay.
saying.
So how do you love Him?
Like putting Him first by loving His creations, everything He created, like respecting the nature, respecting each other, respecting your own body, respecting yourself, like just loving everything that He has created and respecting it and following His commandments with it.
Okay. The young man had his hand behind you. Yes, sir. How do you love God?
I was going to comment on something he was saying before.
Oh,
That's
okay.
my
Go
hand
ahead.
up, so.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, as far as people gaining weight and whatnot, they actually have a lot of chemicals that have estrogens in them. And so there's more estrogens in foods, also in different drugs as well. So, I mean, this isn't a conspiracy. This is like known fact. Average male testosterone levels are substantially lower than that of a generation ago, 2 generations ago, 3 generations ago. So,
Really?
Yeah.
The testosterone?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that.
So
I had a physical exam.
Yeah.
And the doctor told me my testosterone is through the roof. I was like, yes!
So.
We got to go back to the good old days.
Well, that ain't happening. We don't produce
That's
anything
right.
anymore, so.
So what now?
I said but that's probably not going to happen because we don't produce anything
We
as
need
a
to go back
country
to
anymore.
farming.
I know you like to, point out, oh, if we get back to living the way we were in the 50s and 60s. The problem is, what was the middle class back then? You had manufacturing jobs. You had cities like Detroit that produce cars. They're dumps. All those factories are
can't you
gone.
buy some
The
land
jobs are gone.
Can't you buy land and plant your own food and take care of yourself?
Who's selling you the land?
Down in Alabama,
Who's selling you the land?
some white people with plantations.
It's going to the banks are getting
That's
are
because you're not
taking
trying
all
to
the
buy
are
them.
taking the real
They'll
estate.
sell them to anyone with the money.
Right, but what I'm saying to you is they're not just giving you a loan for the sake of giving you a loan. You have to be able to show them that you can pay off that loan. So it's not just
I thought
as
it was
simple.
always
It's
like
not
that.
as simple as just,
Hasn't it
well, we're
always
going to
been that way?
buy farmland. They have so many regulations that you're getting. You get.
Did you try
You're
to buy
getting
land and that
taxed.
happened to you?
They tax the hell out of you, and so basically, that's why you essentially have monopolies all over
Did
this
you
country.
try to buy some land and that
No.
happened to you?
No, not me
Then how do
personally.
you know that's going to happen then to you?
I'm not saying for me, this isn't about me personally. I'm talking about what is happening to the country as a whole.
Right.
I'm saying that the reason the middle class is dying is not, it's not only because morals have gone down the drain, although that is a part of it. The bigger issue is we don't produce anything anymore. We outsource everything.
But let me do this, because I don't want to get political right now.
Well,
But the
that's
reason
fine, but
that this
that's-
has happened because we are allowing it to happen.
No,
They can't do it if
that's-
you don't let them do it. Believe me.
When both parties are
I'm talking
advocating
about
for
as
it, you don't have a
individuals, not as
choice.
parties. Look how weak society is today. We don't fight back. Like, we don't buy land. We don't keep our freedom. We just give it away and complain about it. It's like the public school, they're messed up, right?
I couldn't
And
agree
yet
with
the
you more.
parents still send the kids. So what do you think you're gonna get? You know that the schools are messed up, and yet you send your kids off to school anyway.
Problem is, if you don't have the money, what's your alternative?
That's just an excuse. Keep them home. You keep them home. You can't have, if you want to make it in life, you cannot have one excuse. Because one excuse will hold you back.
You know, the vice president was locking up people for
Well, I can't
parents
get
for
into that right
truancy.
now. Call me on the show, we'll talk about it. All right? But y'all understand you can't have any excuse about anything. You see situations and deal with them, but you cannot have a decision. I mean, an excuse. If you want to make it in life, you cannot have an excuse. You can see injustice, you deal with it, but you can't have an excuse. Oh, I can't make it because I'm black, or because the government won't let me. The government screwed up the land. Buy some land and protect your own land. There's a way out. But if you make excuses, you won't see your way out. You will not, and you won't deal with life in the right way. Because life brings on many challenges. And if you don't just enjoy life to the fullest, that means the good and the bad, you're going to have a horrible life. I'm surprised to see society with all these excuses. The government is doing to us because we allowed them to do it. Just think of all the old people in government. You've voted for them for years. And they haven't done anything. They don't have to do anything because they know you're going to vote for them and just complain. The kids have gone to school and now we see that they're brainwashed. They become Antifa, Black Lives Matter. They're reporting on their own parents. And yeah, you just send them to school. And we've been talking about this for years, that the schools are brainwashing the kids. And yet, for years, the parents just send them off. So, as long as you have an excuse, there's no way out. You cannot have an excuse. Right here with the biblical question. And then I got to move on here. Do you love God?
Yes, Jesse.
How do you love God?
By following his commandments.
Okay.
And his commandments would be the great commandment that he is giving us is to love the Lord with all your heart, mind, and soul. And then next, loving your neighbor as yourself. I can't love my neighbor or God if I don't love myself.
And you love your neighbor?
Yes, I do.
All of them?
Yes.
Even Black Lives Matter?
Yes.
You love Black Lives Matter?
I'm going to love them to tell them the truth that if they don't repent, they're going to go to hell.
Oh.
And get close to God. I mean, truth warns. You know what I mean? So that's
No,
why
it
the
does.
division is.
It
You
does.
either love God or you hate God. So what side are you in?
Very interesting. Did you have your hand? Okay, thank you.
Oh, and one more question. We are celebrating today 24 years of marriage, and it is my wife's birthday today.
Right on. Nice. You've had fun being married to him for 25 years? 24? You've had fun being married to him for 24 years? Ooh. Whenever they go,
Work in progress.
Work in progress?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Well, we had to, I personally had to go through heartaches and pain and figuring out how this works, and God kept us.
Right on. Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
And it's your birthday, right?
Yes.
How old are you? Today is your birthday?
Yeah.
How old are you?
Old.
Old?
Yeah, 53 today.
Yeah, you're old. No, I'm playing. I'm playing. Yes, sir. Well, happy birthday.
My question was, I actually heard someone call into the radio show, and you asked them the question, and they said the way to love God is to let your ego die, which made me think it's actually a really good answer, and my ego hasn't died, so that means I don't love God. So my question for you is if
They
you
said let your ego die?
right, was the way to love God. And I think that's like the perfect answer, to me anyway. But it also means that I don't love God because I still have an ego. So can you love God and still have an ego?
Absolutely.
You can.
Yeah.
How does that work? But how are you putting God first then, right? Because your ego is going to put itself first.
Because when you recognize that you can't get rid of your own ego, that it's a spirit that made a home in you, and there's nothing you can do about it, rather than being frustrated and judging yourself, but to accept that there's nothing you can do about it. Then once you enter into the kingdom of heaven, God will destroy the ego, because it's a spirit. And there's nothing we can do about spiritual things. And so prior to God, prior to you returning to the Father, you don't have anyone or anything to defeat the ego. And all of us have tried, to make ourselves better, to overcome, but it doesn't happen that way. But once you return to the Father, He will destroy the ego, because the ego becomes subject to Him. And before that, the ego is subject to the body to the ego. But once God comes into the picture, the ego is subject to God, and the light will kill the darkness. But you got to stop judging yourself and trying to fight it.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Just think about the people who committed suicide because they were told that, oh, you're alcoholic, you're a drug addict, you're this or you're that. And they became, angrier at that. And they just felt like life was over because they tried to get it right. No one told them that it was of the heart. They've been telling them it's of the body part. You need to fix your body part. You're sinning. And so most people fight trying to overcome that, but it's about the heart. The heart has to change. And that's where the power is. It's about love, as you were saying. It really is about love. So stop trying. It's about the heart. Keep an eye on your heart. That makes sense?
It does.
Have you ever thought about that maybe someone had lied to you? It's all in the Bible. I'm not making this up. Nowhere in the Bible does it say, he mentioned the commandments, I believe. Nowhere in the Bible says keeping the commandment breaking the commandment is a sin. It doesn't say that. But in the world, the focus is on keeping the commandment. Don't lie, don't steal, don't do this. And everybody breaking the commandment. Because we can't even keep the commandments until we return to the Father. We are a spirit, and everything we do is spiritual. That's why we have to be subject to God. Otherwise, we're subject to Satan. What?
No, that's good. I'm just thinking.
It should be a relief to know that you don't have to fight that. You can't change that.
It's a relief to know, but at the same time, there's something that just doesn't want to let go.
Satan doesn't want to let go.
Yeah, I know.
And just think about this. Think about how many years you've been on this earth, and you've been told it's wrong to be this way, it's wrong to be that way, and you've tried to change yourself. You have not been able to.
45 years.
Yeah, and you have not been able to change yourself. Have you noticed that?
I have noticed that.
Yeah. And so I remember I had been told the same thing. Change yourself. You can change it, right? It's wrong to be this way. It's wrong to be that way. It's wrong to do this. Give me an impression I needed to change it. And it wasn't until I realized I can't change this. This is crazy. I'm tired of it. I can't change it. And when I gave up, that's when things start to happen. But as long as you're trying to change it, nothing's going to happen. You'll get worse.
I've noticed that.
Do y'all understand that? You can't change yourself. When God said, of ourselves we can do nothing, and of ourselves we can know nothing, all we have to do is admit that we are that. I'm a hateful man, fallen being, right? When you admit that, that's the sin. I'm a hateful man, you're playing God. Once you admit it, that's all He needs from you. Go and forgive, you'll be fine. Then you'll be fine, you'll wake up. That make sense?
Yes.
So stop fighting it.
I know.
Stop fighting it. I saw the young man right behind you, his hand first. Did you have your hair a while back?
A long time ago.
I thought I saw you. It passed?
I think it was about, there was a biblical question.
Oh, how do you love God?
Everybody already said it, but it was, I feel that it's, that love your neighbor, love God, your mind, body, and soul. What else? There was someone else. Yeah, I'm just copying everybody.
So what now?
It's just, yeah, love yourself. I mean, love your neighbor as yourself. In mind, body, and soul. It's just, that's how I see it.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty simple. It's not too complicated.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me come back to you. I saw Raymond a while back. Raymond, did I see your hair a while back? Okay.
Yes, you did, sir.
All right.
You asked how do you love God? To me, I said, admit to yourself that you do not love God.
Okay.
That's the first real step you have. Admit to yourself how much of a sinner you are.
All right. My friend want to answer it. Right behind you. Right there.
Back on the biblical question?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You love God?
Yes, sir.
And how do you love God? How do you do that?
Yeah, I think it's a great question.
Yeah.
I like it a lot, and I think it's very relevant because the idea of love is so misunderstood. You know, people
Yeah.
think, I ask this question to people all the time, is love, is it something that you say or something that you feel or something you do? Everybody thinks it's a feeling. It's got nothing to do with a feeling.
Not at
Absolutely
all.
nothing.
Not one iota.
And it's encouraging that so many people describe the actions that show the love, you know,
Yeah.
because that's really what it's all about. You know, so for me, it's you know, following those commandments of how do you put God first and how do you love other people as much as you love yourself. So, you know, if you're asking me to give specific examples of in my life, you know, I start when I go on a vacation, which is more rare and more rare. I try to figure out how am I loving God? How am I loving other people more by going on a vacation? That's like one of the hardest ones that for me was to answer, right? So if I go on vacation somewhere now, it's either I'm going somewhere to help somebody with something, whether it's a family or friend, and I'm making sure I'm putting as much time toward making them better compared to me. Or if not, if I'm just going out, you know, the desert or something to go camping or whatnot, I'll whatever money I spend on a trip, I'll make sure I'm loving the people in that area as much. So if I spend $100 on that trip, I'll take $100 and donate it to, you know, a church or something else in the area that's
While on that
helping
trip?
people out. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Interesting. Are you responding to this question or something else? Okay, hold that thought for me then. Let me get to this right here. And then, because I don't want to run out of time here. Is this about how do you love God? Okay.
So when the lady was talking, it reminded me of in the Bible. I remember when Jesus saw the rich young ruler, and people are like, oh, that he was like mean. I don't know, the weird people that I went to church with before previously were like, oh, that was like so mean of him or whatever. But it says in the Bible that Jesus looked at him and he loved him, and he was telling him the truth. And the only way that we can love each other is because God allows it. God was working through Jesus, and we can return back to God. But the amazing thing is too, like everything that we're all saying here, we can't do it of ourselves. We literally can't. There's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
And God really just allows us to, well, we love him with his love, that because we don't even have it. He gives it to us and we're able to do it. That's what's so amazing, that we're all, you know, just we're made to be controlled by one or the other, God or Satan.
All right. Amazing. The young lady right behind you want to answer. Not on this side, not that young lady. Right there. Yes. Is this your first time?
No,
Oh, good. Do you love God?
I do.
And how do you love him? Have you ever thought about that?
No, not really.
Oh, okay. So how do you love? And this is a fellowship. Relax. It's not a test. You don't get an A or a B. You're not loved any more or less. It's just for you to start thinking about. Examine thy heart. Know thyself. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I think that by not playing God. So not, you know, like if something is not to my liking, I'm not upset about it.
Have you given up playing God?
There have been times that I keep failing.
Oh, so you still play God sometimes?
I see it with my daughter.
In what way?
Like, like if she, like the other day she spilt lemonade and I should have been more patient about it.
How old is she?
She's 10.
Okay, so she spilled lemonade and you did what?
I got upset about it.
About the lemonade?
Yeah.
What the? And you started yelling at her?
I mean, not as bad as I used to, but yeah, I did.
Not as loud as you used to?
Not as loud as I used to.
You were like, I can't believe you.
Yeah. No, it just.
Instead of, I can't believe you.
I think because she's a lot like my husband. Like
Oh,
they
no wonder you hate
they
her.
spill at every little thing.
And you're like, you just like your father.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, good.
But she'll say it herself. Oh, I'm like Daddy.
And how you feel about that?
I'm like, well.
So what?
I don't. I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, yeah. But I don't tell her. But,
Are you happy she's like her daddy, or do you want her to be like you?
no, I'm happy she's like her father.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't yell at her.
No, that's where like he was mentioning, like, you know, I go, ugh, because after a while I'm cleaning it up, I'm thinking like I wasn't patient with her.
Oh, yeah.
And so then.
Did you apologize to her?
I did.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
But that's where I have a hard time, because then I think about, oh, I could have done better there.
Right.
And
But don't judge yourself for it. It's enough
Yeah.
to see it, and it'll work itself out. It really will. The light will resolve it for you. That's inside of you. Any questions for me?
Well, I had a question. So if two people have like an argument and both can be wrong, can both be right?
Both can be wrong and can both be right?
Like I see that both people can be wrong, right?
Yeah.
But if there's somebody right, does that mean somebody's wrong, or can both people be right?
It's all depend on what it is.
Oh, okay.
But the best thing is always leave out the anger. You know, you can voice your opinion, but don't hate, and
Yeah.
it'll work itself out. Because the situation could be the way you see it as opposed to the other person. They see it in one way, you see it another way. And so the situation could be, you know, but as long as you stay away from the anger, that's the most important part. That way, when the fight is over, it's not for a divorce. It's just you disagree, but it's not personal.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I get it.
Good. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Yes. You had a question about what I said to him? Yeah. Okay.
So, and I also got confused about this because I think you also had a biblical question months ago about, do you have love, right? Do we as people have love, right? And you said no.
I don't remember that.
We don't have love. Well,
Don't ever ask a black man if he
but I'm not, yeah, I'm
Did you
just
know that?
saying.
Never ask a
And
black man.
what I saw the difference, and I just want to know if this is right, like what I saw when I see the difference, like, yeah, we do not have love, but that doesn't mean that we don't love God. Because love God is not like what we have inside of us, it's the actions that we do. And he will give that love to us as long as we're doing the right thing.
Okay.
And that's how, I don't know if that's how you see, like how you told him that, because for me, it's been something I'm being like, okay, how can I love God if I do not have love in me, you know, as a person? And then, you know, also in the Bible says that we're inherently imperfect, right? Like as a person. But I say, yeah, we're imperfect. God doesn't tell you, oh, love me, and just because you love me, you're going to be, you yourself, above yourself is going to be perfect. No, it means that, yeah, you might do some mistakes, but loving me, it's not.
Were you at the women's forum?
No.
You missed it. You should have been there.
I know, I
Because you're so
forgot.
off
I
right
forgot. I was in my,
If
yeah.
you had been at the women's forum, you would not be saying what you're saying.
But
we had an amazing women's forum. Wasn't it good? It
Yeah, I
was something
forgot.
else. So we'll come back to you.
Yeah, that's what I was just
Loser.
a little bit, but I feel like I'm more in peace with what I think now. It's like, okay, we are imperfect, but the love of God makes us perfect, you know,
You
as
should have
long
been
as
at the
you act
forum.
upon that. What?
You should have been at the women's forum.
I know, I missed it. I forgot. I really forgot.
I can tell. No, I'm playing. I'll come back to you though.
Yeah.
Okay. James had somebody on the phone.
About the silent prayer, question about the silent
Okay, and then I have somebody got to read for you. It's gonna blow your mind, I think. Yes, James.
A super chat from Jamie Winnie
Thank you.
asks, for doing the silent prayer, what do you recommend for mothers who have small children around them at all times? Love you and the crew.
So do it before they wake up, because God said we should get up early in the morning and seek Him. Don't wait until 9 o'clock. Don't wait until lunchtime. Get up around 6 a.m. and make sure you're doing it no later than that. Ooh. You got to seek Him early. And one thing I noticed about being quiet early in the morning, the silence is amazing. It is beautiful. I never knew that you could truly enjoy quietness. You can hear quietness. It's so nice. So get up early in the morning and do it before the kids wake up. And then during the day, just take a little bathroom break or something when you're like in your head, and go and take a minute and you'll be fine. That's all it takes. But make sure you get up early in the morning and pray. Who don't get up early in the morning? Wow. 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 Why don't you get up early in the morning? Why don't you get
myself a night owl?
You get up and, yeah, well, start getting up. Yes, sir.
It's your question when you said, right? Because God will
be there either.
Okay. He was in heaven. And he
soon
had an
as
ego.
As soon as he developed that ego, he's gone. And that's what happened to you. You live in hell until you overcome that.
Ego? I don't have an ego.
You don't?
No. But I don't.
Where is it?
Huh?
What happened to it?
Ego? I'm humble.
Oh.
But I'm not ego. But I don't. Not
How do
ego.
you know you're humble?
But I'm humble? How do I know I'm humble?
Yes.
That's a good question. That's a good question. But I maybe
Anytime
have
a
a
man
ego.
say, I'm humble, you know there's an issue.
All right. Okay. But
why do you think you're humble?
Well,
you love God sometimes.
Sometimes, well, well.
No wonder you're asking about your brother Lucifer.
Okay. Okay. Well, what is God to you? And I think it's basically, how do you love something you don't even know what it is? So when you say love God, what is God?
And so what are you loving sometimes?
The idea of Christ.
Oh, you love the idea of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand. That makes sense. We're going to get you all the way across the line. All right? How you been, man? How's the baby and stuff? I was thinking of you.
Yeah. We've been wanting to come, but the baby's like at that stage where he's just like wants to go and touch everybody and talk to them.
How old is he now?
He's 15 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
You made another one yet?
Not yet, but soon.
What are you waiting for?
Soon.
We don't have time. The war is on.
Yeah, that's true. No, it's around the corner for sure.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So do you love God?
Yeah, I do.
And how do you love Him?
By knowing that I'm pretty much nothing. I can't do nothing without him. So it's kind of like that ego death. Like, I guess my ego died at some point. Thankfully, God humbled me.
Oh, okay.
Brought me to my knees and
humble
let
man.
me see it. Well, what I mean, he humbled me. I don't know if I'm humble, but he brought me down.
From one humble to another one. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, good to see you.
Yeah, nice to be here. I brought my friend.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
This your first time here?
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
Edward.
And so do you love God?
Honestly, I feel like it's hard to say because I think God loves me so much and the love that I return to him is so insignificant compared to that.
Absolutely.
That I feel like I don't love him sometimes. And, I'm a sinner. I mess up. I've done a lot of things, that aren't representative of someone who loves God. And so I think I struggle with that. But there is part of me which certainly tries to love him and which,
By doing what? How do you try to love Him?
I try to keep him in my mind whenever I do anything. I think that anything you do, whether you just like driving your car, you know, I think it can be directed, you know, like toward God with like a spirit of love and unity with him.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I just try to do small stuff in my day, like in unity with him. I like, you know, especially in silence, I like call on his name and yeah, try to sort of just enter into a mental space where I'm
So when you're driving down the road, you're like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Praise
just,
the Lord.
I mean, you just see the trees. It's all,
That's
it all sort
right.
of just
Oh,
reflects
so
his
you're not
beauty.
like talking to yourself.
No, I'm not talking to myself. No, I'm not that crazy. I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy. No. Yeah.
Any questions for me or disagreement? This is your first time here, right?
This is my first time. I've seen videos, but, you know, first time here. in
Any
the flesh.
questions or anything?
Not at the moment.
Oh, okay. All right. So let me do this really fast. We're going to get past this. I got to ask my experts because I didn't get a chance to do it. Joel and everybody know Joel, right? He be like, Joel. Oh, Joel wrote it down on paper. Oh. Oh.
Later.
Joel was interviewed on another radio show yesterday. What's the name of the show?
The 8:30 show. It'll be live this Thursday.
We'll let you guys know. Okay. Do you love God?
No. Yes.
No and yes?
Yes.
There's one seat left in the Hummer row.
Yes.
Oh, why are you saying yes and no?
Yes, because I realize that I can't even seek, and that it's of me that I can't do anything.
You can't seek?
That I can't even seek. You know.
What do you mean? Yes, you can. He says seek first the kingdom of God.
But it's not of me seeking either.
Oh, who is it?
Either Satan or God.
Oh, okay.
So no.
What?
So yes.
Say what?
Yes.
Yes, what?
By not doing anything I'm seeking. That I love God.
Oh, okay. So that's how you love him? That's how you love him?
Yes.
Oh, okay. No wonder he's that. No, I'm playing. Nick, the anchor baby. Everybody know the anchor baby, right? You love God, Nick?
No.
Oh. And okay, so you don't know how to do it since you don't do. You don't
Well, the
love
question is, how do we love God, right?
Yeah.
And I know the what. I know what it is. I know what it looks like, the words for it. But
You gotta
up
realize,
until
ladies, this is no test. We were fellowshipping. All right? Praise the Lord. I brought the word. Oh, I know what I want the biblical questions to be. Where did this idea come from? Remember this, all right? That you have to always have the Bible with you at church. I hear people on the radio, Jesse never had the Bible. He's supposed to bring the Bible to church. I want to know where did that come from, because I looked in the Bible to see if it says you have to have the Bible with you every time. So that's my biblical question, all right?
I got you.
Okay, go ahead. I just remembered, because I couldn't think of this morning what it was, but he triggered something.
Well, I
So
had.
you don't love God.
Well, I had the question is, how do we love
Yeah,
God?
how
And
do you?
I didn't really have an answer until a while ago, because you kind of gave it away.
Oh, I did?
I think you kind of gave it away, but
What did I say?
But what I was thinking before, what you said, was that I don't really know the how. I just have like the what and the why you should, what it looks like,
Yeah.
that you love him, only him, above everything else. And when I think about if I only love him above everything else, at all times, like 100% perfectly, I mean, I don't know if I could have said yes to that. But then a moment ago, you said, you were answering someone who asked about, can you love God when even though you have an ego? And that was deep. That was deep. It's like, I mean, that's right. It is right there. There it is.
What?
You let go. You let go of, because you were telling him that you can love even though you have an ego, right?
Right.
Because you realize that you can't fight it, right? And in that very moment, whatever, because even you had
you guys don't know, but he had said something to me earlier.
Oh, well, be
and I was
quiet.
like thinking about it, right? But it's like, it's
I want to
like,
hear from Chris. Did I tell you what it was already?
no, you didn't.
Oh, okay.
Am I about to say something?
No, you're not. Go ahead.
Am I about to give it away?
Oh, well, hold it.
Okay, I'll.
You know how those Mexicans are. They like listen. They'll listen when you don't know that they'll listen. No, senor, no English. Let's ask Chris, the white boy, my social media guy. Chris, you love God?
No.
No?
No.
Well, you guys get fired tomorrow. I'm working with all these sinners. So you don't know how to do it then?
No, not without God. The short answer is no, but because God loves me, then I can then love.
How?
How? God works through me to allow
I
me
know,
to.
but how do you love him, not other people?
You don't.
Oh, you don't?
God just loves you, and then you can have the ability to love.
Oh, okay.
But that's it. That's the only way. That is
All
the
right.
answer.
Irma's wanted to put in.
You gotta go to your experts. You miss James.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about the guy with the good hair. Irma's, how do you love God?
I mean, I don't know that we can. I think God has to love us in order for us to love him.
So everybody realize this is no test, right? Y'all do realize that, right? All right, this is fellowship. No test. It's just for you to know for yourself.
Yeah.
That's all. Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought about it. So I don't know how we can love him. I think he has to love us, and then that's the only way we can love him. That's my.
So you're saying we can't do it?
Of our own, no.
Oh, okay. He has to love us, but we can't love him.
We can love him once he loves us.
Do you love him?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I changed my. Yeah, I do. I do.
I noticed that
I
every
just
time the
realized that.
audio
Yeah, I
went,
do.
ooh.
I do.
Then they changed their mind.
I do.
That's not how it works.
I know he loves me, so yeah, I do. That's
How?
my final answer.
How do you
How do I what?
love him?
I just said it. He loves me, so therefore, by receiving his love, I'm able to love others.
And how are you able to love?
With his nature.
And how? How now, brown cow?
Because, like you mentioned before, he
What?
allows it. He kills that ego.
It's not a test.
No,
so
I get
relax.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
So he kills that ego. So therefore, as he's killing that ego, I'm able to let go of anger and love other people with his nature or his spirit. May not
Okay.
have the exact words, but yeah, it's.
All right.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, yes, sir. Here, and then James and nobody else. Right here.
My question is, why would God want to love humans?
He had.
How's God? I wouldn't love a filthy race like human beings.
You-
They're dirty. They're murderers. I would wipe them out. I
You-
would have wiped them out a long time ago. So why
Sis.
would God want to love humans?
This is coming from a humble man. He said that humans are sick, murderers, and everything, and you don't love any of them.
I mean, like, why would God love humans?
What's the reason?
That reason. That's why he loves us.
Then I wouldn't love them.
All right. Samuel, the Mexican cowboy boy.
Jesse, what's going on?
So you love God,
Yes.
and how do you love him?
By being, as I'm being born, like, well, I'm born again, right? But as I'm like living in the light with love, with perfect peace, my ego is dying. And as God is stripping away like things that in the past that I put as my God, like whether it be women or what people thought of me or hatred or anger, all that, as it's stripping away, that ego death, that pain, that suffering that's coming from that, that's how I'm loving God, because I'm going through it. I'm keeping my eyes on myself, and I'm just living life how it's supposed to be lived.
Okay. Amazing. Had you thought about this before it became a biblical question?
Nah, but the past few days I've been more like quiet. So I've been keeping, I've been seeing that, and I was like, whoa.
All right. Amazing. Did you have your hand?
Can I respond?
Did you have your hand?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was just gonna say that that he asked, why would God love us, and we're His creations. That's what I thought.
Oh, okay.
Like the reason why God loves us is because He created us. Like
If you bake a cake and it get out burnt, would you eat it? If you created a cake and you baked a cake and it tastes like shit, would you continue eating it? You would just throw it in the trash.
Do you know
So
you're
He
in
created
church?
humans. They're crap. So just reinvent a better human.
So you never had burnt cake? No. It's so good. Yes, James. Did you have your hand? Oh, you didn't have your hand? Oh, you waved it off. Oh, okay. All right. You want to respond to that question? Okay.
So I got the perfect answer. You love God by not hating God.
Okay.
Just
Amazing.
because the children of the lie they want us to hate God. So just by refusing to hate God, by default, you're actually loving God.
Okay.
That's
Amazing.
just my thought about it.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you raised your hand. That was so helpful. Now for that. So, Nick, what do you think I'm about to say? What did I tell you?
No, I think you misunderstood me.
What?
You didn't tell me the answer.
Oh.
What I was just getting is that you were telling me something about myself, right? And you know how when you tell someone something about people, they get like, oh, like, I'll stop telling the truth about myself.
Right.
You know? Like it bothers people, right?
Right.
And so I was kind of in that a little bit. But then there was a moment where someone asked about, can you love God even though you have an ego still? And you told them that when you realize that you can't remove that ego and that you just live your life kind of this fully, the ups, the downs,
Yeah.
that's, at least I feel like that's what you're going to say, that's loving God. And so when you mentioned that, it was all gone.
Oh,
And I was
okay.
like, man, I've been there before. And I've done that before. I don't know if I do it fully, so I don't know if I can say I fully love God, but I think I'm starting to understand what you're saying about how do we love God.
Amazing. So I do want to say that you want to respond to this? Nobody else, don't raise your hand after this. Yes, sir. How you love God?
Okay, so something bothered me about the way your boys answered the question. 'Cause it
My
sounded
what?
Like they,
My
your guys-
boys. What the? Experts, buddy.
the guys in the office.
Experts without degrees.
Okay, so it sounded like they were waiting for God to love them first. It's like a beta love where they wanted God to love them first, and then they were only
But God
able to
does love us
return it.
first.
How about we
That's
flip
why He
it?
sent His only Son.
Okay. How about we flip it around and we say, I love God because I want God to love me back. So you initiate it. You're the first one to put it out there.
But God already loves us. He sent His only begotten Son because He loved us. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this conversation today.
Okay. Okay, so one thing happened to me on Friday. I went to Costco, full intention of wearing a mask the entire time. And then halfway through, my mask fell down. And God said, don't put it back up. And the most amazing thing happened. Like, I felt hate the first half, but then God had all these other people send like admiration to me. And I ran into the woman with her mask down too, and we connected. And I think because I was brave enough to show that love, God returned it.
You smoke pot?
No.
Why
So
would God
am I
tell
wrong?
you to break the rule?
What am I doing wrong? It makes sense.
Why
to
would
me.
God tell you in somebody else's business establishment, and the
Okay.
rule is you got to wear a mask? Why would God tell you don't put it on?
I get that part, yes. So I had full intention of wearing it. That's why I went into this establishment.
Right, but
to
when it
abide by
fell
the rules.
down, why would he say, don't put it back on?
No one else told me to put it back on.
What?
I think he hates masks.
Who, God?
God hates the mask. That's true. What, you guys disagree with this?
He must be a Republican.
Does God want you to cover your face and not communicate with your fellow man and to hide behind a mask?
Amazing. Esteban, I want to answer my question. Thank you. Nice try. Esteban, how do you love God?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I can love
It's
God.
no guessing answer. It's
Yeah, I'm
just
guessing that.
searching.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to. Well, let me put it like this. I don't know if we can, but I know I have moments where, like, I think that the best thing you can do to love God, if you can, is to like love your neighbors, like not judge them, especially like now, how we have so many people like judging us, like on the news and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Trump, I feel like kind of like a personal attack too, you know, because we have the same beliefs as him. So these people are like pretty much talking about us too when they say all this stuff. So like not hating them when, you know, not having like anger against them. That's how you show love.
Okay.
To God, at least, yeah.
All right. This young lady want to answer, then we're done with it. All right. Right here, the sweater. Yeah, she's dying to answer it. I can just tell. You love God?
I mean, I think so.
And how do you love him?
I think just realizing that we have to love everyone too, to love God, because if we don't love everybody else, then how can we love our Creator?
So by loving others?
Yeah, I think
okay.
so.
Is this your first time here?
Yeah.
Oh. What? No. That's loving God, Levi. So Levi, your boyfriend? What make him alpha?
He doesn't let his about everything.
Right on.
Yeah.
And do you try to make him mad sometimes? Irritate him? Do you like try?
It's just like tease him. Yeah, it's like playful.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
No?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you're here, all right?
Thank you.
Okay.
Me too.
Like, really, you can't even begin to think what it's like. And when we talk about it, say try to put words to it or define it for you, it's all like, it is amazing. It's everything you need in life because God is love, right? And it's everything that you need in life. It's unlike emotional love because emotional love is evil. Emotional love comes from hate. That's why it's up and down. I love you until you say something wrong to me or do something wrong. Then I don't love you. I love you until you whatever, right? That's not love. But God's love, there's nothing on earth that can change it. No human being. When you really, 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 really love, return to real love, no matter what you go through, you will not change because of the power of love. And you can't feel it, you can't taste it, you can't touch it. Even though you know there is something about it that lets you know it is of God, the energy from it, the life source, and all of that. And the way that, and then I want to read some to you about love. The way we love God is so, and so most of what you all have said is absolutely true. If you love God, you'll keep my commandments. That's even in the Bible. But you can't keep the commandment until you love God. And the way you love God is to be conscious of Him at all times. You got to be conscious. That's why it's so important to sit still so that He can bring you into the presence where He is. because Satan is in the past and future. He lied to you about that. But when you are present, you're conscious of God, life is amazing. It's paradise on earth. But if you notice, the moment you go back into your imagination, your thought, it's hell on earth. Have you noticed that? When you're in the presence, everything's fine, no matter what's going on. All is well. But so it's paradise. And so the way you love God is to stay present with him. Stay out of your thoughts. They're all lies. It's all hell. And when you do, you're going to have paradise on earth because you know he loves you. And by staying present with him, you're showing that you love him. And it's really amazing. There are no words to express it. So I want to encourage you. And yeah, all the things that you talked about, keeping the commandment, the ego, all that is being handled because it's all spiritual all the time. We are a spirit inside this body, and there's nothing we can do. That's why, and once you really realize there's nothing you can do, you're going to give up the fight. You really, and whatever comes, you just have to deal with it. Let God's will be done. So if you all think that I'm wrong about this, I want you to even test it 1 week. This whole week, stay present with God. Stay out of your thoughts. You will see. It's going to be amazing for you. It's just simple as that. And yet, that's the hardest thing to do because you've been so angry and lost in your head for so long. It's hard to just stay out of your thoughts, right? But if you practice doing it, it will eventually happen more and more, and it'll become natural. Just like you're accustomed to living in your head, you become accustomed to living out of it and living in the presence of God. But you got to stay out of your imagination. That's how you know you love him. That's why it's so important to do the silent prayer morning and night, and then during the day when you're out there working and doing your things, and just take a moment and look around you. Come back to present. And you're growing in that spiritually because we are spirit. And he is taking care of the ego and all that stuff. It just starts to disappear. And life gets better and better. You got to stay present. It's like what Samuel was saying earlier. He take that quiet time now. He know that he can't change it. He's watching it. We are the observer. We're not the creator. And you got to stop judging yourself and all that stuff. It just be. And God sent his son for us, man, because we had no way out. We had no way to return to him. And so we were becoming crazy people, prostituting, doing all the wicked things. But he understood that because of because of what Adam and Eve did, we had no way back. So he sent his son to make a way for us to come back. God, God cares about the heart. That's why when you come back to him, he softened the heart. He renewed the heart. And but most people don't realize that salvation is of the heart. He changes the heart, just like that, from hate to love. And then life begins. And then all that other stuff, you see that, you know what? Whatever. He'll take care of it. He loves you because you had no way back. He created us. And the reason he created us to create love through us. And that's why each generation he's trying to get it right. Because we're born into crazy families, right? So we repeat our family. We do what they do. But now that you're waking up and you're coming back to God, you're going to be of love. So when you start your family, your kids will be of love instead of hate. And that's how he started this new. If you die with that hate, he doesn't care. He's like, what the? He gave you a way back. He said, go and forgive. If you don't take that way, he'll just let you die, and he'll let somebody else make some more babies, and somebody will eventually get it right. But he loves us. And there's nothing like God's love. You can't even imagine what it's like. You have to live it. All right? Any disagreement with that or any questions about that? No? What? Oh, okay. That makes sense? Oh, good. Stay present. And you're in his presence. And just remember, Satan is trying to tempt you to overreact to something, to get mad at yourself or others, so he can bring you out of the present into a false illusion of the future or the past. That's why God said, come into my present. He's right here, right now. There is no tomorrow. There is no yesterday. all you have is right now. Really. Whatever happened yesterday is done. It doesn't even exist except in your mind. And Satan will remind you of it so you can jump off the bridge. God doesn't remind you about yesterday. He never, because it doesn't exist. He doesn't remind you about tomorrow. Just think about that. If he say take no thought about tomorrow or yesterday, why would he remind you what happened then? You know what I'm saying? He doesn't remind you about yesterday. Only Satan does. So whatever happened yesterday, it's over. Don't let Satan tell you, well, y'all had a fight yesterday. Y'all going to have another one today. He doesn't know that. Have a wait and see attitude about everything. God is with you. All right? Yes.
When it comes to children, if they're not children that came from you, like if I don't have children and I, decide to adopt, would I be able to love those children 100% because they didn't come from me?
If you of love, absolutely. You have no other choice. Just like you have no other choice but to hate, once you return to love, you have no other choice but to love. So even if you adopted them, you're going to love them in the way that God's loving you. You have no other choice.
Okay. And then, I guess that does answer the question on one side of it. However, if the child, would it be my responsibility to have that child pursue their birth parents to forgive them?
I wouldn't worry about that. Have a wait and see attitude.
Okay.
If they ask about it, then yes. Don't hide it. But when kids know what they want.
Mm-hmm.
They know when to ask, when not to. So just have a wait and see.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Yeah, it's one of those, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And kids are amazing. Yesterday I was babysitting my great-grandson. Isn't that amazing? He's 6 years old and as smart as he can be. And he all boy. I mean, into everything. Run up and down the hall. He was watching TV, and he's like, Granddad, I want to go to McDonald's. So we went to McDonald's, right? He came back, and he bought this little child pack, whatever you call that. He put it on the floor, on napkins, right? And grease was all over the floor. I was like, what the? And then I looked around. He was doing this exercise. You know how you go up against the wall, you put your feet up, and you stand on your hand? I'm like, well, why are you on the wall? But he's just all boy. And he's so innocent. And I'm like, I hope he stay that way. He's smart. He's not shy at all. Not one. He went to the barbershop with me. It was like he was at home. Not embarrassed, not shy. And if we could raise our children with love like that, it'll be amazing what these kids will do as they get older. But they gotta be raised with love. And if you didn't have love, when he ran up and down the hall and carried on, you'd be yelling. When he got his feet on your wall, it'll be over. When he's putting McDonald's grease on the carpet, you'd be just like your daddy. But it's amazing. He is really, really bright. And all kids are like that until you traumatize them with your anger. And you take that innocence away from them. And that's when things go wrong. I would talk to his mother, she's like, oh, when she brought him by, she was like, Grandpa, take care of my baby. I was like, he's not a baby. This is a boy, a big boy. He's like, that's right, I'm not a baby, I'm a man. And he does everything for himself. He doesn't want you to do anything for him. He had this car seat thing that he wanted, you have to sit in, I guess. And he's like, Grandpa, can I ride in the front with you? I was like, I don't know, I think it's against the law, isn't it? He's like, yeah, but I still want to ride in front. So I let him ride in the front seat. I know, they like that. And then when he jump in the car, he wanted to turn on the car. He wanted to do everything for himself. Isn't that amazing? That'll come next. Yeah. Do you have your hand? Yes.
I was just gonna comment on the kids, how kids are so smart and they really do
They're
know.
like really smart.
Yeah, I was talking with my brother that he's 11, and he's of course super traumatized with my family. He's all dramatic, and every time he calls me crying like, Linda, I'm gonna miss my class and stuff like that. And before I used to get like, I'm not angry, but I used to get irritated because I was like, why are you crying for something like this? You know?
Right.
But that was before. Now that I work on myself and I let my ego go and not identify with my brother or with anybody, I was able to tell him, no. I was like, okay, calm down. Don't think about if you don't know yet. First of all, if you miss some homework, talk to the teacher, take responsibility about what you did, talk to the teacher, try to figure out, and if he doesn't want to help you with the homeworks, just calm down and just go with just if you don't pass the class, then you don't pass the class. Don't make a big drama.
That's why you can't have anger with these kids. You screw them up.
And then,
because there's no power in that.
And the amazing thing that he said after that, and he said it with himself, he was like, oh my gosh, thank you. This is like the best way of thinking because you win either way.
Yeah.
If you messed up, you win either way because you take responsibility and you learn. And if you don't mess up and it comes out good, you also learn. And I was like, wow, it just took me to be calm and to not identify with him or put my ego on him, and I could help him better to understand. He picked it up like so fast. I would have never thought he can pick things up. But yeah.
Nice. I'm in a rush. Everybody looking at me, the clock, and you going 90, going no. And because your English is broken, nobody knows what you're saying. No, I'm playing. I'm playing. I'm joking. So I want to give you the example of what God's love is like. It's everything that, totally opposite of what you think. All right? Do you mind come reading this? Yeah. Okay. You know how to read?
I grew up in the South too, so not very well.
Okay. And when you come to God's love, live in the present, you can't help but do this too. Live this way. You overcome the old way.
Where'd you get this from?
I think I thought it was because it said the New Jerusalem Bible. Doesn't that mean Jewish? I thought it was a Jew Bible, but somebody told me it's a Catholic Bible. Right? Oh, okay. So read from here to here.
All right.
All right. Why would they call it New Jerusalem if it's Catholic?
I'm not Catholic, so I don't know why they.
Because a Catholic is not a Jew, right?
Yeah, but the church is the new Israel.
The church is the new Israel.
What church?
The Christian church, the Christianity, yeah.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
That's why they did it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They did it for marketing purposes to sell more books.
That makes sense. Okay. All right, listen, it's so nice.
From the book of Luke. But I say this to you who are listening, love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who treat you badly. To anyone who slaps you on one cheek, present the other cheek as well. To anyone who takes your cloak from you, do not refuse your tunic. Give to everyone who asks you, and do not ask for your property back from someone who takes it. Treat others as you would like people to treat you. If you love those who love you, what credit can you expect? Even sinners love those who love them. And if you do good to those who do good to you, what credit can you expect? For even sinners do that much. And if you lend to those from whom you hope to get money back, what credit can you expect? Even sinners lend to sinners to get back the same amount. Instead, love your enemies and do good to them, and lend without any hope of a return. You will have great reward, and you will be children of the Most High, for He Himself is kind to the ungrateful and the wicked.
Thank you, man.
Amen.
Amazing.
Amen.
Yeah, give it back to him. That's when you live in the present. Thank you. When you go and forgive, and you enter into the kingdom of heaven within, and you live in the present, you're not going to be able to. That's the only thing you can do, because you only have love. So no matter what happens, you don't even desire to try to get back at the person or to take it personally. You won't be able to, because your house is being made solid. Your foundation is being built on solid love. And I'm telling you, you can't fake this or anything. It is. or it's not. So you got to overcome that anger. And for those who have gone and forgiven their mothers and returned to the Father, just stay with the silent prayer. Have no plan about anything. Meaning you don't know how you're going to act in the next situation. You don't know what's going to happen. Have a wait-and-see attitude. But have that quiet time. Turn off your radios. Turn off your computers. Turn off the television. At least a 1 hour a day. And have this solid quiet time. Or when you get in your car, because you were telling me you went somewhere from one place to another without the radio, right? Somebody was telling me that.
I worked on the car.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Worked on a car for 8 hours and didn't have any music. That's powerful. You have no idea because with the music thing, you're distracted. But with the quiet thing, you're with God. And you can see Satan trying to tempt you and all that kind of stuff. There's nothing like the quiet time. You need the quiet time. All right? So do the silent prayer, go and forgive, and have some quiet time. Heaven and earth were created in stillness. You got to do it. And as long as your mind is set on God, you're not walking around thinking, my mind is set on God, right? You're just in the present. You're practicing being in the present. And that's about God. Your whole world will change because he really loves us. But you don't know it if you're in your head. Stay in the present. Did you have your hand? Oh, okay. All right.
You said something really.
You guys can give this a try and prove me wrong. Really. This one I want you to. Live in the present for 1 week. Prove me wrong. Okay. You shouldn't do it as a test though, but try it. Yes.
You said something that really resonated with me. You say quite a few things that resonate with me, but you said something that really stuck with me. You said you can't trust an angry person.
Right.
And I was angry once upon a time.
Yes.
But we're pretty much surrounded by angry people. So how do you deal with people that you can't trust, that are you're always around, or they're coming around you all the time? Like, I don't ever want to feel like sometimes I feel I have to shun people or stay away from them or whatever, but I don't know. I just wanted to, if you could elaborate on that a little bit.
Give all people the benefit of the doubt. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Have a wait-and-see attitude. And angry people will eventually reveal themselves. And then when they do, you can see that's not your friend. It's best to move on. But you don't walk around just not trusting people. Oh, I don't trust this and I don't trust that. Not like that. Give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and then you will see. And you'll be fine. All right? But don't walk around trusting or distrusting. Just give everybody the benefit of the doubt. All right?
Thank you.
Amazing church. You had a question, right?
First you read about
love your enemy.
Love your enemy, and then you said if somebody takes your stuff, don't ask for it back.
Right.
That sounds like Antifa, kind of like belief, right? Let them take your property and just let them have it, right?
No, not like that.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, not like that. You'll see. It doesn't mean what Satan is telling you that it means. Because when he said, if somebody takes your stuff, don't ask for it back, I thought Black Lives Matter right away. I'm like, wow, Black Lives Matter about to take the white people land without compensation? Y'all ain't get it back. So don't ask. But no, it doesn't mean that. Have a wait and see. His ways are not what Satan's been telling you. Not at all. Yeah. All right? You can't figure this out. You live it. You discover it as you're living it. All right? And his ways are easy. Make sense? You have your hand, Hermes? Yeah. Well, don't blame me if I'm late.
No, I was just going to say just two quick things.
Yeah.
One is, I think, just to respond to him, I think it's more of a state of mind or attitude, not a physical thing, as far as what you read. That's a state of mind.
A state of awareness,
right.
God's mind. Yeah.
And then the question I was going to ask you is, so are you saying that we can go in and out of loving God?
When you first wake up, because you've been living in your thoughts for so long, you will drop, like a child, when a child is first born, The child just don't get up and start walking. You know, you're going to fall back into them sometimes, but because you're with the Father, don't judge yourself. Because Satan tell you, oh, you're not with God, right? But you're growing out of them, so if you get back, fall into a thought, don't make it a big deal. Just get up and brush yourself off, laugh about it, and keep on going with life. Do the silent prayer. Stay present. Because you're growing from childhood to adulthood. So be patient with that. Yeah. All right? Thank you all so much. That was amazing. I encourage you to do the silent prayer. Do we have anything coming up? Nothing to announce? Stay with the prayer. Speak up, but don't resent. Doubt every thought. During the day, doubt every thought. No such thing as a true thought, all right? And don't forget to support Bond. Go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. And we have the best counseling service on this side of heaven. So if you need counseling, you can go there and make an appointment as well. And we'll do the Super Chastity Live tomorrow, all right? Thank you. And thank you all. That was amazing today. I love fellowship. Thank you.